Hi everyone, I wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys real quick about um, minimalism. I wanted to discuss about the concept of minimalism and how it has played out in my life that and different thought leaders and people that I follow, etc., etc. And so I don't love labels. Like, I think that everyone is unique and that labels maybe make things harder to be as uniquely you as you need to be, if that makes any sense. But I do think that sometimes concepts are better described, or people that identify with personal beliefs or values find it easier to label things. So, in this regards, like, I'll discuss it from that perspective. So, I stumbled upon minimalism in, oh my goodness, almost like 10 years ago. So, I think it was probably around like 2013, 2014. No, it had to be 2014. And there was, I think that was when I had discovered Ryan Nicodemus and Joshua Fields Milburn as the minimalist, and had seen their podcast or their documentary on Netflix, and it just hit home. And I was like, wow, you're right. Like, stuff is getting in the way, and like my life could be easier and simpler, and instead, like, I'm hauling. Like, at the time, I was thinking about how I was hauling stuff from like one apartment to another apartment, from dorms, um, from my childhood home, like just all over the place, just stuff. And for years, I hadn't even unpacked most of it. Sorry, my dog is scratching at the office because she hears me in here and she wants to come cuddle. Anyways, I um, found this concept to be revolutionary in my, I've only known maximalism and acquiring, attaining consumerism, and all the things related to gathering material possessions. And that's what success looked like to me. Success looked like being able to afford expensive things, like, you know, having nice clothes and nice accessories and big houses and fancy cars and, just all these things, and not ever having to worry about money because you have an excess. And so I think I immediately purged and just started going through, like, um, I think the first thing I did was my wardrobe, and just significantly went through a lot of that. Uh, took it straight to Goodwill. So I remember having such reservations, but at the same time not knowing what was on the other side. So I just needed to explore this. And since those time frames, since almost 10 years ago, like, I have learned that stuff is just stuff. We will acquire and attain things every season. And so you shouldn't be afraid to release what's not serving you, or anything that's hindering your, um, it's getting in the way of your values. And so, and your goals. And so, anyways, I dove headfirst into minimalism, and I would still say it's a journey. I would not call myself a minimalist, but I would say that I value minimalism and what the movement stands for. Memories over material things. Prioritizing um, actual experiences instead of objects, and recognizing that the money in which you need to acquire things can be attributed out to hours of your life spent making that money. Is it worth it? Is that designer bag worth the overtime and being away from your loved ones, your family, friends, or even just having downtime where you can relax? Is it worth the calculations that you have to do because of overtime and additional taxes taken out and yada yada yada, this and that, the other? Is it worth it? Are there better ways that you could be spending that money? And it doesn't have to just be designer things too. It can be like the wonderful business model of subscriptions, right? Like, how many subscriptions do you have? Do you have Hulu and Netflix and Spotify and YouTube Red and or YouTube Premium? Think about it. Do you have the different television networks that are available now? Do you have the highest and best of every service that's available, and is it worth it, and do you need it? So I think that minimalism in itself, in a movement, is highly advantageous for my generation and the upcoming generations, because we're recognizing that maybe our time is spent better than just trying to make more money to buy things that we don't need, that aren't serving us and don't bring us joy. I think we're valuing the time freedom more than that. But overall, I think that minimalism in itself has excellent values in the thought leaders who are, pushing forward this movement. I brought up the minimalists, Ryan Nicodemus and Joshua Fields Milburn. Excuse me if you ever hear this or see this. But then I went down a rabbit hole of other people who I think also were earlier in this journey, and Joshua Becker, and he talks about the person that he is it. I think his name's Leo Balboa. I think, I'm not 100% sure. I love the Minimum Mom, and I have watched her stuff, and she has gotten me through a lot of purging. But I would say that it's a vicious cycle, and you have times where, in different seasons, where you get to a place and you feel like you may have made a large impact, and then stuff accumulates and acquires again, because a lot of people value things, and it's inherently natural to want more and to desire more, and you are advertised to constantly. And we have family members whose love languages are gift giving, and it's very easy to accumulate nowadays than it was in previous generations. And in some regards, I'm so grateful and thankful. And then in other regards, I'm very sad, because it is a lot. It's overwhelming at times. And it's also sad to see the quality of goods and service, or goods that we have now, and the services that are needed to manufacture them are just dreadful to the planet. And so, in a sense, like, we are destroying the planet for our consumerism. So, in a way, minimalism is a mechanism to connect the dots and to avoid needing. I say that in quotes, needing so much. Minimalism could be teaching contentment. Learning to love what you have. Learning to have enough. Being grateful, having gratitude. And I think that as this next upcoming year progresses, that I anticipate getting rid of more and more things. Like, I would love to get to a point where I feel like my house is manageable and under control. But I don't know. A girl can dream. She really can. Hopefully we'll get there. So, anyways, that was just a thought that I wanted to hop on and discuss about in my journey to trying to stay consistent with posting. And I hope this gives you something to talk about and to think about. And if you've never given the idea of minimalism, or even like if you haven't heard of this concept before, there's a few other things that you can, look into and research. Many people have podcasts on it now, and there's so many resources, and there's different types of minimalism and essentialism, and the opposite, maximalism, that's come out of it, and just all these other concepts that basically are a way to identify the way in which you relate to things, objects, etc., and the values in which um, the things that which you value are projected in a word or described in a movement, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would not call myself a minimalist, like I said, but I aspire to be one. And I think that over time, like everything in life, it just takes constant, um, constant work, constant effort, constant decluttering, and that the outcome isn't the goal, right? It's the journey and learning how to manage. And yeah, so thank you guys so much again for watching. If you like my musings and you want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and I can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. And I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.